This show is about your life, how to make it better, how to make more from it, how to love deeper, how to share it with others. This journey is about connection to your dreams, with topics centering on love, money, sexuality, and energy that unites it all. This show will change your life. For years, I've coached people in easy-to-learn skills, and I've seen incredible changes. I'm here to teach you those skills as a coach and hopefully a new friend. Hi, I'm Kyle. Come along with me as you move along your path of life success. Welcome to the Kyle Phoenix Show. This show is about your life, how to make it better, how to make more from it, how to love deeper, how to share it with others. This journey is about connection to your dreams, with topics centering on love, money, sexuality, and energy that unites it all. This show will change your life. For years, I've coached people in easy-to-learn skills, and I've seen incredible changes. I'm here to teach you those skills as a coach and hopefully a new friend. Hi, I'm Kyle. Come along with me as you move along your path of life success. Welcome to the Kyle Phoenix Show.
You also want to adapt or adopt a healthy lifestyle and healthy lifestyle habits. Some of the basic things that you can do is 8 hours of sleep a day. So you want to time yourself. You want to look at it. You know something? I'm going to give myself, and look at it as giving myself, taking away from the world, from all the other things that occur in the world, 8 hours a day of relaxation and sleep. That's a great thing to do. Getting out into the sunlight. This again, if you do a little exercise outside, if you're walking around outside, where you want to give yourself a minimum of 10, 20, 30 minutes outside where you're in direct sunlight. Even if you're working, going out during lunchtime, instead of just sitting at your desk and having lunch, and maybe walking to the park or walking from one side of the avenue to the other side of the avenue, which is a great thing that I do during lunch because it gets me outside in the sunlight. And you can also do this if you're necessarily a crowd person like I am. So, oh my God, it's so crowded outside during lunchtime. Start trying to take your lunchtime at an off lunchtime. Then maybe you want to start at 12:30 or maybe you want to start at 2:30. To take lunch when people aren't quite so crowded or congested outside on a mass lunch hour. Then you also look at relaxation techniques. Meditation, that's a great thing. And meditation isn't something you need a lot of practice at or that you need special instruction in. Maybe it's even something I'll think about doing a video on. Meditation is just being quiet, closing your eyes, and just observing your thoughts, not thinking anything about them, only just flash by and go, you know something, oh, I've got to pay Con Ed, oh my goodness gracious, my feet hurt, oh, what am I going to have for dinner? Just letting those thoughts just go, and just letting them just go, rather than attaching so much to thinking about the thoughts, to controlling the thoughts, to dealing with the thoughts, to dealing with what the thoughts are bringing up, to dealing with worrying about what the thoughts are bringing up, to actually just looking at the thoughts, saying, okay, all right, okay, and just letting it come up. And sometimes even controlling your thoughts a little bit by saying, you know something, I'm going to be at peace. I am okay. Nothing can harm me. This too shall pass. Just little mantras to yourself. That's what part of what meditation is. But taking some time. You can meditate in 10, 15, 20-minute, 30-minute, hour-long intervals. You can meditate at work, go into the bathroom, go into a stall, and just take 10 minutes just to be quiet with yourself. Don't tell anybody where you're going, what you're doing, what's going on. Just take a little time with yourself.
This show is about your life, how to make it better, how to make more from it, how to love deeper, how to share it with others. This journey is about connection to your dreams, with topics centering on love, money, sexuality, and energy that unites it all. This show will change your life. For years, I've coached people in easy-to-learn skills, and I've seen incredible changes. I'm here to teach you those skills as a coach and hopefully a new friend. Hi, I'm Kyle. Come along with me as you move along your path of life success. Welcome to the Kyle Phoenix Show.
This is now part 2 of actually dealing with depression and what depression is and how it may manifest in ways in your life and ways to actually deal with it so that you deal with it and it doesn't deal with you ultimately. So part of what depression does is it saps your energy. You don't have the same drive to do the things that you may enjoy doing. You don't feel the same ambition. You don't feel the same desires. One of the reasons why I wanted to do a separate piece on just mental health information for things for you to think about, reflect on, even look at, does it relate to you, and then perhaps take it further to a professional if need be, is because a lot of people with alternative sexualities deal with mental health issues. Another interesting thing that I just saw on television was actually a report of how many mental health issues people don't have dealt with based upon how much money they may earn or may not earn. So this is a great way to get out the information of what certain things feel like, what certain things look like, and therefore how to deal with them. So when we get back to depression, we look at that it may change our moods, how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about the things that we normally enjoy doing, the people we normally enjoy being around. And that's part of how it's difficult to identify depression at first because we just think we're changing our mood or not wanting to do something or wanting to rest or feeling tired or feeling more exhausted. When in fact, if you actually chart yourself or try to keep track of how long have you felt this way, you can get an accurate feeling or description or timeline of what depression feels like for you. You're looking at that you actually feel some form of depression or some light form of depression. It's completely normal to experience things. How do you get out of it? First, by understanding what it is, which we did previously and in the first video, and then secondly, that it's not impossible. It may feel like it's impossible to change the emotion that's occurring or the suppression of all of your emotions or the wet blanket that you feel like is over you. The very things that alleviate depression can change your mood are generally the things that are most difficult to do, such as exercising. And perhaps you can't start out with some amazing exercise regimen where you go 5 times a week, but you can start out with a short walk around the block. You can take a half a mile walk. You can take a quarter of a mile walk and reward yourself for doing that. 10 minutes of actual physical exercise, generally outside if you can, in the sunlight, can change your mood for 2 hours. So you want to take some time to really do something. Just go somewhere. Go to the store. But instead of going to the store closest to you, go to the store a little bit further away. That will give you some exercise and some emotional uplifting to change your mood. Also, what you can look at doing is make it a point, if you do it every day, to call someone. Call a friend or a family member or a loved one or a partner or a spouse and say, hey, how are you doing? And maybe just time yourself for 10 minutes, for 15 minutes. I'm going to do this. Make an appointment with yourself to actually call other people. Part of what happens sometimes in alternative sexualities, and what I've noticed in workshops I've done with gay men, is there's a sense of isolation, or there's a sense of alienation. There's a sense of I don't belong, or I don't feel comfortable with these people, or these people don't completely understand me, or sometimes all of your friends may seem a little superficial. So part of what you want to do is you want to establish close relationships, look at, well, you know, this may not be a perfect relationship, but this is perfectly good enough for this moment, to get me through this moment, to help me uplift. Not everybody will satisfy every need and every emotional desire that we have. Not a partner, not a husband, not a wife, not children, not family members. People will satisfy pieces of us. And we say, okay, you satisfy a really great piece over here, but you know something? I'm going to have to go find some other people that I might feel comfortable with to satisfy things over there. That's what's developing in a balanced emotional life. One of the things you can do, as we talked about, is cultivating supportive relationships, turning to a trusted loved one, perhaps going out with friends, even if you don't feel like it, especially if you don't want to feel like doing this. You want to get out some. You want to explore the world, make a weekly dinner date, make a lunch date, to meet someone and go somewhere. By having scheduled appointments in your life, this actually can help to uplift you. Also, one of the other things you can look at doing, as I've mentioned before, is there are community centers all over the world, because I know these videos are going all over the world. So there are community centers, there are organizations, there are groups. Drop in on a group. There may be a group that's specifically about mental health or depression or emotions. There may be one that's specifically about sexuality. There may be one specifically that's about issues around race, around gender, somewhere where you can connect. It doesn't have to be, again, perfect, but generally groups have some kind of weekly scheduled time where pretty much the same people show up. There's a new dynamic of people, there's a new dynamic of relationships, there's a new dynamic of topics going on. A group generally lasts for an hour or two, so get your mind kind of off of what you're doing and more focused onto what the group is kind of tackling that week. So it's a great way to get out of yourself. There's also anonymous groups like AA or NA. There's Debtors Anonymous, there's Overeaters Anonymous, there are all kinds of anonymous groups. If you feel that you perhaps dealt with some issues or looked at some issues or have some questions about issues, drop in on one of those groups. Really investigate being a part of kind of a community feeling, part of joining something, part of getting to know people, and make it your own little special thing. Just go to an AA meeting. It's not going to be anything where people are going to attack you or want to demand to know about your alcohol consumption or what. You can sit in the back and listen. And while you may discover that you are or are not an alcoholic, you may also discover some helpful tools for dealing with life.
This show is about your life, how to make it better, how to make more from it, how to love deeper, how to share it with others. This journey is about connection to your dreams, with topics centering on love, money, sexuality, and energy that unites it all. This show will change your life. For years, I've coached people in easy-to-learn skills, and I've seen incredible changes. I'm here to teach you those skills as a coach and hopefully a new friend. Hi, I'm Kyle. Come along with me as you move along your path of life success. Welcome to the Kyle Phoenix Show.
one of the things you can do is focus on things that you used to enjoy or things that you might enjoy. Some of the things you can look at is places that you used to go to or sports that you may have been involved in, different activities that you may have liked. One of the things that I enjoy doing sometimes is just going to the movies. I'll plan it out on a weekend or sometimes a late weekday evening, and I'll go to 2 or 3 shows at a time. It's really, really interesting to have the experience of maybe seeing a couple of movies that you might like, comparing them, and just kind of having movie night to yourself, as there used to be double features or triple feature shows. That my biggest so far has been in seeing a triple feature. And it's really something. It totally changes your mood when you go see 3 different movies and you kind of juggle the times and figure it all out, and you figure out a lunch or a meal in there somewhere. It's really interesting. Kind of keeps you on your toes. There's a great list of other things you can do, which is coming up right now, which include spend some time in nature, going out to the park. That's a great thing to do, just walking through the park. You don't even necessarily have to participate. Here's another great thing that we're going to do a little bit sometimes when you look in some of the motivational shows, but here's a good thing to keep track of. List what you like about yourself. What is good about you? What do you enjoy about yourself? It can be physical. You can say, I have great legs. I like my hands. It can be mental. I feel I'm intelligent. It can be mental and emotional. I think I'm a good listener. I understand people well. You want to start having a kind of a practical list, and it's important to write it down. Anytime that you're trying to make physical change in the universe about yourself internally, you want to write it down. You can read a good book. I'm a huge Toni Morrison fan, and we're actually going to do a book club that I've done before, and some discussions about some of her work, and some other work too. So I'm always on the lookout for a great book, for a nonfiction book, for a fiction book, for an instructional book. Even one of my response videos, I'd gotten a book about YouTube and how to produce shows better. Watch a funny movie or TV show. I love What's Up, Doc with Barbra Streisand. It is just a hilariously silly movie that's done with kind of excellent timing. So anytime I want to have just a funny, silly movie, I watch that movie. You can take a long hot bath, where you actually, whether you put bath salts in or bubble bath, or you just add some shampoo to it, that you can actually just relax yourself for 30 minutes, for an hour. Listen to music. iPods and iTunes allow us now to kind of create our own kind of playlist of music and the stuff that we enjoy in life. Take care of a few small tasks. If it's something like mailing some letters, instead of going to the neighborhood post office box just right up the street, maybe you actually want to walk to the post office. Maybe instead you need to fix something around the house, you want to go to the hardware store. Kind of getting involved with stuff. Great thing also, it's a great stress reducer, as well as has been shown to have wonderful beneficial effects upon stress systems, upon high blood pressure, upon heart conditions, upon mood elevators, is having a pet. So if you have a pet, you want to play with your pet. Instead of just walking your dog up and down the block, make a certain time to take them to the park for an hour. I used to have a Siberian Husky, and they're very, very kinetic animals where they just have to move a lot. He actually used to pace in the house sometimes when he didn't get enough exercise. So it kind of forced me to take him on sometimes nightly, hour-long walks. And what we would do is we'd go to the park, and I'd release him in this huge, dense park area. We could just run around freely, and going out with him really kind of elevated my mood all the time, because I had to make a special plan to do so. I had to be ready, I had to be alert, I had to be dressed. It was sometimes raining, sometimes it was snowing, but the joy that he got out of it, or especially during the summertime, and I'd feed him bottles of water on the street, and he was just elated to be out in the world, that they kind of transfer that energy to you. So that's great too. You can write in your journal. I think it's great. I think it's important. I think it's kind of integral to living a life that examines a little bit, not only of life around you, but sometimes your internal stuff, your spiritual stuff. To have a journal. I often sometimes beat myself up because I don't write in my journal every single day, but I do make a point to have a journal. I've had a journal for, I think it's been definitely on since about 1990, so it's about 20 years now of just consistently writing in this journal. And sometimes I look back on it, and sometimes I don't. There are some journals where I know they are full of some stuff that I don't want to even remember in detail, and then there are other times where I'm like, how did I get through that? How did I do that? How did I move from city to city? How did I learn about this thing? How did that relationship work out? What was I thinking? Where your journal is kind of an excellent review of yourself. It's like being able to roll back a videotape on yourself. Another great thing to do is not only with uploading things to different places like YouTube, but if you have a webcam, you could make a video journal of how you feel today, what you think today, what's happening, and just save it on your computer. I'm sure there are people out there doing this that are just kind of just reflecting, and it's just an easier way for them to do necessarily than writing. And then there's also doing something spontaneous. Like I said, going to an art show. Maybe there's softball in the park now. There was a day where I was walking through the park, and I went to the store. I try to take a walk that's about 2 to 4 miles a couple of times a week. I walked all the way downtown, found a great DVD sale, and was walking back uptown, and said, you know something? I always walk along the avenue. This time I'm going to cut through the park. So I actually walked all the way up through the park towards along the west side of where I live, and there were people playing in the park, and there were barbecues and all this, and I kind of got involved in a little bit of a frisbee game that some kids were playing, because I just kind of walked into it. So spontaneous things like that happen. Or a spontaneous thing, you can take $20 or $30 and go to Atlantic City. Just go to Atlantic City and say, you know something, I'm going to maybe have dinner, and I'm going to gamble $50. I've got a $100 budget for this. Just go to the Port Authority, get on a bus to Atlantic City, and just go. It's open 24 hours a day. You're an adult. You'll be fine. You could also go to another borough. Just go to another borough if you need to do something on a budget. And go to one of its famous sections, Chinatown. Or you could go out to Queens. You could go out to Flushing. You could go out just different places. There's some great Korean barbecue places out in Flushing. You could go somewhere in Brooklyn. Go to Coney Island. Go out to Long Island, to some of the malls there. Just do something that kind of isn't something you would normally do. Or is a really fun activity where you just kind of follow where the day kind of takes you. You say, you know something, I'm going to follow a person in a red jacket until I see a person in a green jacket. And wherever they pass by that I can afford, that's where I'm going to have lunch at. Those are kind of fun things to do with yourself that maybe don't cost as much, but kind of get you active, get you out in the world, get you out in the sunshine, get you out in moving your body around, get you out in seeing the world a little bit differently.